I didn't have very much luck with the video this morning, so I've got a video, but let's just hope that what I have to say is interesting enough that I don't have to show the video. But the video is quite good anyway, so we'll try it at the end. But just wanted to thank the organisers for inviting Joe and I over for the conference. I've worked for Jamie for close to 9 years now, and I tell all my friends and family it's the best job in the world, which it is. And nothing makes me even more proud than working for Jamie than to bring somebody like Joe, who's one of our graduates from 2005, to the conference to cook this evening. And I think, you know, in terms of the success of the foundation as a social enterprise, there's no better proof than the fact that Joe's graduated and now 5 years later he's still working. He's got a private chef and has a catering business. So you'll get to eat some of Joe's food tonight, which I let you know it's very good. So a little bit about why Jamie started the foundation. I'll tell you a little story. I was actually Jamie's PA for 4 years, and he tells this very enlightening and interesting story of his journey. He was working at the River Cafe when they were filming a TV series there, and he'd just finished a shift and went home, and it was a rather busy shift. He was tired, but the phone rang, and it was the River Cafe, and they rang and said, "Oh, one of the chefs hasn't shown up for work, and will you come back and do the shift?" So it would have been a long day. So he has a very strong work ethic and he's very responsible, and he said, "Yep, sure, no problem." So he went back. And the film crew were there, and they were testing the camera for the series that was being filmed, and they saw what he was doing, and they asked Jamie just to sort of explain what he was doing. And he was making his signature dish, which is rotolo, which is this pasta dish, which is delicious. And so he did his bit, like just being very natural, being very normal on camera. And the next day, they looked at the rushes, and the director of the series said, "Look, this person has something. He's brilliant." And it's very funny because the BBC kept on ringing, and he thought it was his mates ringing, playing a joke, and he kept on hanging up the phone, but it was actually them asking if he'd come in to test for a show, and so there it began. But I tell that story because Jamie is a person who believes that success in life is a combination of luck and hard work. And certainly the apprentices, when they come to work for us, it is hard work, but the rewards at the end are incredible. So at the time, at 15, Jamie was obviously on television, and he had done very well and was selling books, and he felt it was time that he could give something back. So that's why he started the foundation. So we are nearly 10 years old. Next year we celebrate our 10th anniversary. And it's surprising that people don't realise that we're 10 years on and that we still have a foundation. We still train unemployed youth every year. We still find them jobs as top chefs. We have 3 restaurants, Amsterdam, Cornwall and London. And the goal, as I said, is to train disadvantaged youth to become top-class chefs. So the 15 is a part of the Jamie Oliver Foundation, which was set up last year. And the foundation has 4 different areas. So basically there's the school dinners campaign, which you may know of when Jamie tackled the government to improve the way that the children were being fed at school. The Ministry of Food, which is 5 food centres in the UK that have been set up to teach people to cook. The Kitchen Garden Foundation, which has just started this year. So basically Jamie's belief is that not only to teach kids how to cook, but how to grow fruit and veg as well, and then turn one of the classrooms into a kitchen. So it's part of the his school dinners campaign. And then lastly, the charity that he's working with in the States, Jamie's Food Revolution. So by the end of 2009, all of the restaurants had recruited nearly 320 students. 70% of them had graduated, and 91% are still working as chefs. That doesn't seem a lot if you imagine that we're nearly 10 years on and all the energy and the effort that goes into this foundation. But it's, I guess, in many ways, 15 is not only about the students that we graduate, it's about also the reach that we have, particularly in terms of London and the UK. So every Friday we have a recruitment day where the apprentices talk about their experiences, and we work with local authorities and job centres, advising them if they've got disadvantaged youth who want to become chefs. Perhaps 15 isn't mightn't be the avenue for them to take, but we have avenues then to advise as well. So I guess I say that in the sense that 330 students doesn't seem like a lot, but the reach of 15 is quite enormous in terms of what we actually do. Get up in the morning, be on time, take that responsibility is can be quite challenging. So we give them a lot of experience in terms of not only learning in the kitchen, learning in the classroom, but we also do things like sourcing trips where we take the kids away. Sorry, I call them kids because some of them, I'm old enough to be their dad, but it's a term of endearment. We take them to farms, they've just recently got back from Italy, so really it's an all-round education and learning where food comes from as well, which is an incredibly important part of the education. The restaurant survives by, or the foundation survives by selling merchandise. Also, all of the profits from the restaurant go back into the charity. We have an annual fundraiser every year called Jamie's Big Night, which raises money for 15. And Jamie donated all of his proceeds or profits from his book, Cook with Jamie. So obviously, with that book being resold around the world, there's a lot of money that comes back into the foundation. Interesting enough, we don't have any government funding at all, so we survive purely on our own efforts, which I think is quite outstanding. So our wish is to create a best-in-class training opportunity and to reach more young people. And one of the things we've done is also to look at what we didn't get right. So obviously it is a very successful foundation with somebody who's at the head of it who's very successful. But for us it's really important as well to look at how we can improve the program, how we can continually make the program reach more people, more young people. So in 2007 we did a social report called Life in the Present Tense. And then this year we did a project, the social return on investment, where we found that £1 invested in 15 equates to £9.50 of social value. So we did a 6-month-long survey of students, their families, their friends. It was really interesting. I was on that panel as well. So it really looked at the effect that what happens when a student comes along, we give them a job, we give them a skill, they're employed, that effect that has on their family, their friends, their children. And this social return on investment was a really worthwhile exercise to do. So in terms of looking at how we can improve, about 5 years ago we realised that because a lot of the students were from disadvantaged backgrounds, we realised that it was best to have a healthy mix of students from different walks of life. So that one of the things we did was made sure our recruitment process reached more people, and then therefore we'd have other young people that could be mentors to the ones that were struggling or the ones that weren't doing so well. We have a great graduate network. So Joe's an example of, when a student graduates, they're still very much in touch with the foundation. They meet once a month, and then also we have an outreach program. So Joe has also been involved in programs where we've gone out and cooked it for various organisations and businesses, which is another arm of 15 as well. So looking to the future, we're planning to bring the training. So at the moment they go to Lewisham College, the students, and we're planning to bring that training in-house and have it as an accredited training that then we can provide to other organisations as well. And also importantly, to partner with other social enterprises such as San Patrignano, who are here as well. So it's a community based in Rimini where 30,000 young people with serious drug addictions have turned their lives around through learning a skill. So I first went there 2 years ago, and Elisa, who's in the other room giving the presentation, and I are working on projects to build relationships with 15, so chef exchange programs, taking our young people over there to experience some of San Patrignano as well. But I think, even today it's interesting to hear about all the other projects, Goran's and John, what John's involved in, and Jonathan as well. These conferences I think are incredibly important in the terms of the connections that are made, because I think my point this morning about the fact that it's up to us as individuals to share our skills and to share our successes as well. Obviously with Jamie at the head of the foundation, it's been an incredibly successful foundation, but looking to the future, I think if you look at San Patrignano, which has been around for 30 years and has 30,000 young people that have gone through the program, then that's really the way forward. So I hope that gives a little insight. There's a lot to talk about in terms of the foundation. I wanted to give a little insight, and for me, again, the most important part is really for Joe to be cooking this evening with the young people from the Job Factory as well. And then also I welcome any questions to Joe because he's living proof of the success of the foundation. Thank you.